I met God last year. Uh, a few years ago, I started saying out of my mouth that there is a God. My soul is pure evil, where it came from, the darkness, and that you did something to it, to give it a chance here, to not be. I kept saying that prayer out of my mouth so my soul could hear it. God said when you pray out of your mouth, your soul can hear it. He can hear you when you pray in your thoughts, because he can hear all your thoughts. But when you pray out of your mouth, it's good to pray out of your mouth, because it does a few things. You won't think bad things about people, because you'll start saying everything out of your mouth that you're thinking. He said it's good to do that. It gets your sins out quicker. Well, I started saying it out of my mouth a couple years ago. And then last year, I sat on my front porch every morning for about an hour with my coffee, saying it in my head, in my mind, out of my mouth, over and over again for about an hour, that I am pure evil, where my soul comes from. And, well, basically, he mixed love and light in it to give it a chance here not to be. I kept saying it and saying it and saying it. I have seen an angel, and then I went online, because I thought I had been telling my friends, people I know online, that I thought I was going to meet an angel. I didn't realize I was going to meet God, and I did. And my prayer that night was that one other person get to meet God too, and they did get to meet God too. That's always been my prayer. And my prayer now is for people to move out the cities, because God told me after he handed me the light of God that night, I went online to a site I always go to called Chatabate.com, and a lot of people got to meet God that night too. I asked to just meet one of the people, and I did. She's a girl that lives in Paris. Her name's Eminem Marble. She used to be on that site. Hey guys, y'all ready for war? Y'all know Armageddon's here, huh? We do get sneak attacked by North Korea. I met God in person last year, and he handed me the light of God, and he told me to move here. We get sneak attacked by North Korea, guys. And you know what else God told me? The fleet in the Pacific. I want y'all to relay this back to your officers, because I'm writing a letter to the admiral of the fleet. I just found out what his job is. How do you defend? This is what God told me. How do you defend against him walking nuclear missiles out to the fleet like dominoes? God said that's what he does. They don't want to hear nothing about God. They don't want to hear nothing about God. They were running away as quick as they could run. I just seen a whole bunch of naval officers. I tried to explain to them that I met God last year, and God moved me out the city and told me Armageddon was here. And I told them what God told me that Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, does to the fleet out there, that's out there to knock down missiles that gets fired out the sky. I told him exactly what God told me, that he simply, like dominoes, walks nuclear missiles out to the fleet and destroys them. That's what God told me he's going to do. God told me he is schooled in warfare. They don't want to hear nothing about it. They don't know about God. Oh, maybe they're going over there to the Pacific Fleet to get frozen for 1,000 years. God said when your soul's caught in a nuclear bomb blast, it's frozen for 1,000 years. That's what God told me. God told me we're going to see pictures of our sailors welded into the metal of the ships, just like you see photos of people welded into things when we bombed Japan. You can see pictures like that all over the place, all over the world. Because God said he not only does he have his missiles set at us, he's got his missiles set at anybody that's his allies. That's what God told me after I met him, and he handed me the light of God. I do not know what God told you. God told me to move out the city. Armageddon is here. We get sneak attacked by North Korea. I met God in person last year, and that's how I met him. I wrote a book about it. It's online. Just type in the word Swagadelic on Kindle, and all my books will come up. I wrote a book about the chemical missiles we get attacked with. I wrote a book about Donald Trump, and I wrote a book about the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. Everything God told me about both men. Kim's gonna be the leader of 2 small palaces on the border of Russia that he's already built. God told me that was his plan. Last year he planned it, and the trumpets were played. It's that simple. That the reason why he lasts all the time is because he's pure evil. And that's what it takes to be evil, is to do your sins and think that they're funny. And that's why the guy's always laughing. That the meeting him and the president had was so he could see right where we were at. And God told me the president did tell him if he didn't dismantle his nuclear missiles and he didn't let us in to see his stuff, that we were going to take his regime. As what God told me, the president told him and made clear to him what was going to happen to him. Either have option A or option B, both, or you're screwed. And he's going with option C, sneak attack, with no money back, baby. That's the option he's going with. God said that's why. He's been waiting to meet the president. He's had everything done. God told me, I talk to God all the time. God told me when he went home, he didn't go home to that palace over there in that city. He's got that thing wired to blow. It's basically how he's got it. He's got all his cities wired to blow. All the nuclear missiles, all the rocket launchers are all around each other. So what he's going to do is he's going to launch dummy 1-stage missiles up in the air first. And he's going to let us start knocking those down. They're all going to be missiles with nothing in them. Then he's going to simply walk like dominoes, nuclear missiles out to the fleet and destroy the fleet. Then he's going to fire the 2-stage ICBM missiles at us with dummy missiles too. He's going to do it all at one time. All of it at one time. As soon as he fires, he's going to fire around, there's no telling, 10,000 missiles at one time. He's going to fire. God said he's going to fire a shitload. That he's going to fire one, and that just to fire him. To show he's got them, and just to fire him. You know? And he's got so many of the missiles. God said he's got 100 nuclear warheads. And God said he's got 28,000 chemical missiles. And God said he's got, between the chemical missiles he's got and the missile launchers, the truck launchers that he's got, that's where all his money's been invested in over the years, as making chemical missiles and nuclear missiles and have truck launchers that launch missiles. That's all he's got money invested in. He's got a small group of army over there towards the border of Russia. And they're all living in villages and shit and dug in all over the place. They make little, just like they did in Vietnam, and stashed all kind of ammunition and goods and stuff, stashed everything. He's got a little palace and a big palace built over there, both underground that come up out of ground. God said you can't even tell that they're there. They're by some rivers and some lakes. And God said he's there now. All his people are there. And that's where he's going to give the order to fire. And his soldiers are going to carry out the order to fire and reload the truck launchers. They're going to fire one missile and reload it as quick as they can, and put another missile on a truckload and fire it. And there'll be trucks with stacks of nothing but dummy missiles. There's nothing in the missile. It's just a missile with propellant in it to shoot it up in the air so we can knock it down. That's all that's in it. And he fires those with the real missiles from the cities. God said that's how he's got it. Because he knows he's going to get a couple rounds off, and he's hoping that they get through. Because his plan is to cripple us, and it does work. His plan does work. He cripples the U.S. A third of everything in the world gets annihilated. That unfortunately means a third of the U.S., all the big cities get hit. My estimates are 15 to 20 cities get hit in America with nuclear missiles. My guess is New York gets hit with 2 or 3 of them. And my guess is Washington gets hit with a few of them. God said the president makes it through it because he does do 2 terms. So the president must be somewhere else outside of Washington if Washington gets laid waste to. I don't know. if Washington gets waged to or not. God said he couldn't tell me because he cannot predict evil. He doesn't know either where the missiles are going to land. And he said he can't tell me an exact time because Kim's going to do it out the blue. He's going to do it with the build-up over there where it goes on more and more and more, and we build up more, and we fly closer to his borders. Because he's looking for groups and groups and groups of jet in a build-up, just like the build-up was for Saddam Hussein. Once he sees that it's the same thing and that we are coming in to get him, that's when he sneaks attacks us. So I think it's at some point this summer and time before the next year. I think it's this year. So I don't know the specific date, but I believe it's this year. God moved me out the city. I'm settled into my environment where I'm at. I live out in the country now. I live outside a small town, which I'm in now, a little bitty small town, walking up and down the streets, trying to get to know people. I can tell you the small town that I live in, there's a bunch of scary people here. They're already scared. They want to hear anything about God. Nobody really wants to hear anything about God, you know. It's a shame, you know. And nobody believes me, which that's okay too. My hope and prayer is that one person believes me. Just like that night when I went online, that one person would get to meet God when he handed me the light of God. And God said that night, in 30 million years, there hasn't been such an awakening with the women. Because I go on Chatterbait all the time, you know. That's what God said that night. I got to meet one. I don't know the rest of them. I've been searching for them. I haven't been able to find them. I haven't been able to find anybody other than the one. But the one is all I asked for. And God said in 30 million years, there hasn't been such an awakening with the women. Oh, God, I love you so much. Yeah, guys, I met God last year. And I have the light of God. And I love him. All the bad stuff is us. The only time God does something is when you know there's a God and you talk bad about him. That's the only time he does something. All those people in the Bible that he does all that stuff to, it's because they knew, like I know, that there's a God, and they just rebelled against him and turned against him and just went crazy, fornicating and doing all kind of other evil stuff, you know. And God said that's each soul's choice, that in order to make your descent from here, you have to know that, you don't have to know like me, but you have to know there's a God and you have to know there's a hell. Then your soul can make its descent from here. It's choice of where it's going to go, heaven or hell. It's that simple. Yeah, guys, I met God last year. Move out the cities and hold heaven dear. Armageddon's here. Swagadelic, beaming out.